Hello, 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 and welcome to the Hobby Corner. My name's Kev. It's Friday. It's Community Corner. It's Hobby Hangout. It's all that good stuff. Woo! We're here. Yes. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're all good. I hope you're feeling fine. I hope you've been enjoying this wacky, crazy weather we've been having all week, where it's been lovely and sunny and warm. It's been peeing it down, and then there's been like gale force winds just trying to blow all your clothes off. It's been crazy, but it's been good. We're here. We're still alive. That's the main thing, right? You know what? I sit in low because it's good to hobby, but for the intros, I think I'm gonna sit a bit higher. Just it feels more natural. I'm more on the eye level there. There we go. Ooh, I look like I'm posing for a selfie. Ooh la la, how are you? Oh. Right, so I've got to keep track of how the stream is going because we all know how last week went. It was bloody terrible. Just like within a couple of minutes of going live, the whole thing just crashed on itself, and all you got was audio, which was like nearly 3 minutes delayed. So that was mad. But there we go. I got coffee at the moment. Don't know why. I just couldn't be asked with tea. Like I normally would have a cup of tea, and I just thought, screw it. I'll have a coffee. So there we go. Who knows what's going to happen to my energy levels, and therefore whatever. Anyways, so I'm glad you're all here. Thank you for joining us. We'll just chat crap for like 5-10 minutes before we get more people in to the chat, and yeah, we'll start firing off with our live Q&A and stuff like that. Whilst I try and hobby, and of course today I got some Sisters of Battle, Adeptus Sororitas. So that's going to be fun. I never built any before, and they look alright. I also wasn't sure which bases came with them, so I've literally got my table covered in an array of sized bases, just so I got the right one in the right quantity. So it's all fun and games. I hope you can hear me okay as well. So and I hope there isn't too much of a lag or any delay. And I'm gonna hop right into the chat and do our early bird roll call. So starting right at the top, we've got Andrew. How you doing, mate? Glad you could join us. We've got Lupus Canis. Good to see you, mate. We've got Bill, aka Waylanders Wandering. How you doing, dude? We've got Gina as well. How you doing? And we've got Mr. Fish. Happy Friday to you, dude. This is just about the right time for you guys, isn't it? Because it's like sort of mid-afternoon for you over in your part of the States. So it kind of works nicely, really, doesn't it? I think I just about catch the Aussies like first thing in the morning, depending on which like side of that continent you are. It's either 8 or 11 hours, I believe. So 8 or 9, that's going to be but early. But if you're on the 11-hour end of it, that's alright. It's not too bad. You'll be up with your cornflakes. Adepta feminine, Adeptus masculine. Oh, thank you very much, Bill, for correcting that. Like accolade. I'm joking. So, enough about me. Let's talk more about me. It's been a busy week. Every day has been more or less doing things, getting things organized, getting things moved, getting things thrown out, picking things up. So the wife had this crazy idea that because we do live in a block of flats and we do have a communal space, she wanted to have like a community garden sort of thing, but not a garden per se, more like things that can be used in the garden for anyone who wants to use it. So ended up getting a slide, ended up getting a trampoline. All of this stuff was like for a couple of quid, like literally a couple of quid, or it was freely donated. We've got sand pits and water play things and like outdoor toys and stuff like that. It's all in the bike shed for whoever wants to use it. But that kind of just took a lot of time and energy, and then of course the usual selling the stuff, because I'm not, if you are a regular viewer, you'll know that every couple of nights I'm out sending off hundreds, not hundreds, but it does feel like hundreds of parcels for the Finted accounts, because of course we've got one for the kids, for their stuff, their clothing and their old toys that get sold. All that money goes into a pot that can be spent on days out for them, and we've got another one for all the other crap that we get rid of, and the wife's like old business stuff that is still, we're still trying to shift. It's like it's like it's not even 6, it's like 9 months later and we're still trying to shift the stuff, you know, because there was just so much of it, and a lot of it is small things, but a lot of the small things, so you know, we're getting there, but it takes a lot of time and effort. So it's left very little time for me to actually sit down and do any hobby, or even get a video together. I had a couple of videos planned and I just have not even, I've got the footage, I just haven't got the time to put it together. But hopefully this week I should get some time, especially because the kids will be back at school, so they'll be more tired, they'll be going to sleep earlier, which will be good. But anyways, I hope you're all okay. You know, we've got to hustle, haven't we? We've got to hustle to make it these days. But I hope you're well. Yeah, I get it, dude. So, let me know what you lot have been up to, please. I really want to know what you lot have been up to, what you're working on, what you got planned this weekend as well. That'd be great. Don't even get me started on salt before vinegar with fish and chips. Okay, that is a very good talking point. I'm going to segue onto this, right, because there is a bit of a deep dive. All right, it all depends on how you are presented the fish and chips. If it's in a bag, I'd want to put a little bit of salt, a little bit of vinegar, which would help wash the salt down to the lower layers of the chips, and then put a little bit more salt on top. Right? It makes perfect sense, and it's it's like trial and tested. You know, it is like when growing up in high school, I used to go over to my mate's, right, after school, and he had a fish shop just across the road. And for, I think for the longest time, it was like £1.50. You got a cone, right, with battered sausage and chips shoved in. It was great. It was beautiful. But you'd always put a bit of salt, bit of vinegar, bit of salt, bit of vinegar, and then top it up with a little bit more salt, because, you know, we're teenagers, we didn't care. But it made sense because it all went through to the bottom, and then any crispy bits that were left at the bottom just soaked up that excess vinegar, and you got like a really vinegary crispy bit. Oh man, that was sick. Sorry. that's the West Londoner coming out of me there. Hey Adam, how you doing, man? Glad you could be here. Hey, Phil as well. Look at that. Let the lagging begin. Oh, you had to say that, didn't you? You absolute pillock. It doesn't look like it's lagging, so that's cool. Right, no, I'm keeping track of it. Anyway, if you haven't hit the like button, why haven't you? Like, this is gold. You know, this is absolute gold. This is what you came here for. But anyways, we are past the 10-minute mark, so I think it's fair to start on the Q&As. So if you have any burning questions about Warhammer, both factual stuff and opinion stuff, lore tips, hobby tips, nipple tips. No, I'm joking. Then go for it. I'm just gonna get some vapor up just to. There we go. So I could be a little less nasally because I'm a bit swollen. All the moving of stuff around the place has made it very dusty. So my nose has been swollen. Oh, I feel like I could breathe now. But if you remember, like, I don't know if you've seen the behind the. If you are a member, you would have probably seen the behind the scenes pictures of my setup, and there's other cool stuff like that as well. If you do join the YouTube or Patreon or buy me a coffee memberships, it's only a couple of quid. Shoot. I'm joking. But I had this massive white wardrobe which I used as shelving that I had in my, the previous studio space, and so I could see the stuff, so it was always a reminder that it was there and I needed to work on it. But the wife needed a spot for herself, so I dismantled it. Someone, because it was in perfect condition, we still had the doors for it, it was just not fixed on, so someone who really needed it got it. And all the cupboard space near the front door, that had got cleared out so that I could put that stuff there. But we also got another small calyx for free over here, so I've got the more immediately pressing stuff that I really do have to get done here on plain view to remind me that I need to do it. I've got the stuff I'm currently working on the desk, but pretty tidy, and then yeah, it's hopefully it will work. But it feels a lot more open now, which is nice, and we can actually open the curtains to the Juliet balcony and get some light in here now, because we ain't just got boxes of stuff stacked up in the way. So it's all bonuses really. Look, I have no idea what your obsession with Tim Pool is, Adam, but you do you, man. I ain't here to shame anyone. Just salt, no vinegar for Andrew. You're missing out, dude. Very useful in the more pungent crime scene. Yeah, I can imagine. Hey Debbie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Glad you could join us. Yes, behind the scenes is code for naked from the waist down. But I never have the selfie cam on, so joke's on you. You don't have to see what I'm wearing while I'm taking a picture or something. Anyways, so oh yeah, I'm still waiting for your Q&As, by the way. So for Q&As, I'm still waiting for your questions. So if you got any questions, throw them in the chat. I'll answer them as best I can. Anything hobby related, Warhammer related, lore, forget rules because just I'm not a rule buff, but like, but lore, I've got a good grasp of lore for both Age of Sigmar and 40k. If you got any hobby tips, queries, if you want any opinions on anything, let us know. I'm missing out. As a teenager, I had a vinegar drinking contest with a buddy. I won at a mug and a half. Oh, dude, that's just gonna ruin it for you forever, isn't it? Okay, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I'm still. It's sending that shiver down my spine, like. So, my phone buzzed. Why did it buzz? Oh yeah. If you haven't already popped your stuff over on Discord for Community Corner for later on, then go for it. Discord is free to join as well, so I'll pop the link here if you haven't already. Discord. There we go. Also, if you are not into Discord but you're on Facebook, just hop over to the Facebook page and dump the stuff on the link. Well, the post with the link for this show. We'll have a nosy and see if you dumped anything there as well. And we'll go from there. So, start with the obvious. Are you buying into 10th? I'm going to have to, because I am going to an event held by Nick Beer from Idic Beer, Necrons and More. And it's like a YouTube content creator tournament. So it's going to be a whole bunch of us with brand new rules, brand new, and it's a clean slate for everyone as well. So it's not even like there's going to be a couple of codexes which have a bit of an advantage. It is a clean slate, so it's the perfect time. So we're all going to be on the same level, really, rules wise. As for actual play practice, I'm going to be right at the bottom because I really don't get that much time to do anything. So playing is a whole different thing. I haven't played 40k since I was doing those live tutorials, so that says a lot, really. Adam asks, is the AOS hatchet thing going to start before all the minis shown off get replaced with new sculpts? Well, it's already started, dude. Yeah, it started at the end of February. But you would know that if you kept up with it all, man. Or if you just paid attention to me when I said, hey, look, it started now. But don't worry, it's not too late. You can still, it's 8 weeks in. So you can, because it's still within the 10 issue mark, you can still call them up, go, hey, I want to start. And they'll send out the first lot of issues, the first 4 issues or whatever. I'm going to assume you're going to want to go premium, though, because your boys are going to want the extra stuff. Like, the first premium kit is the big-ass dragon. The second one is... what was it? You've got a big-ass dragon. You've got the frigate for the Carriage and Overlords, which I know one of your sons is going to love. You've got the Trogoths, and then I forgot what the fourth one was. I'm sure someone in the chat will let us know. The next hatchet thing is going to be the D&D series, where they give you endless supply of dice. And a lot of people who've been spoiled by the Games Workshop ones were like, oh, but where's the figures? And it's a case that D&D has always been about, the story, campaign, progress sort of thing. You know, all the tools that you need in order to run a campaign, and all that sort of stuff. And that's basically what they're drip feeding you throughout that, along with scenarios and stuff like that. So what they're really charging you for isn't the dice, it's for the content inside the magazine. Whereas with the 40k and Age of Sigmar magazines, there was a lot of stuff in those magazines, lore, rules, and everything like that, but people just saw it for getting cheap minis, and more paint than you ever need. So, you know, it's different things for different people, innit? Different strokes and all that. You are part of round 2. That's awesome. Round 2? Would you call it round 2? I'd say it's his second time, yeah. No, there was some really cool people there. But he sort of, he kept it to low numbers, I believe, because, you know, it's the first time. But he's got a few more this time round, along with some of the familiar faces from the first time round as well. So the AOS is only issue 8, and D&D may not be happening. Really? What, you don't think there's enough interest? Because I've seen another promo email pop up during the week saying you should sign up soon. So I don't know. Okay, right. Coffee. I hope to God I don't get like, because I accidentally made it milky, right? So coffee and a lot of milk, it could do things to a guy's guts, right? And hopefully the mic ain't that sensitive. So Adam says, we play D&D with kids plus an online game with friends. Half my friends will have to scrap their characters soon, no, as half elves are now racist apparently. No way. Oh, please tell me that's a wind up. No. Oh my days. No, that can't be a thing. Oh, please tell me that can't be a thing. Is it because they're half elves? Is that why? Like, I just can't. Where the I'm just going to put it like this, right? There are people out in the world, even in Western civilization, who have real hardships. They have real problems in their lives, okay? They have struggles, both physically, mentally, financially, socially, every single day, and they push on through because it's that will to survive that drives them, or because they have someone who desperately relies on them in order to survive. Now, I think that kind of puts into perspective how much time other people must have if they are going to pick apart fantasy races for so-called, like, I mean, Andrew just, yeah, he just said, like, But wouldn't it be racist to not have half elves? Exactly. That would mean all of the races in a fantasy setting were segregated. Put that into perspective. That's just... that really just hurt my head. Some people have too much time on their hands, and they want... and like there's two kinds of those people. You got the kind who want to do good in the world, so they can feel like they're doing something good in the world, and then you have those who just want to look like they're doing something good in the world. And the first group, the ones that have good intentions, they can easily be misguided and misdirected through the wrong channels because they're desperate to want to make the world better. Then the other ones just want to flaunt it in other people's faces and go, oh, look what I did. Like the social points, you know, like, look what I did. I'm so much better than you because I did this and I did that. And you get that kind of person in every echelon of society. But my God, that hurts. That really does hurt. So yeah, anyway, that's the tangent, isn't it? So Krondis, big ass dragon. Gordrak, what was Gordrak again? The Gunstuck Gun Hauler is the third one with the bunch of Karajan, and then the fourth one is the Dankhold Trogoth and 3 Rockoth Trogoths. Yeah, it's pretty good. And it says he plays in character. His character calls his mate Tom, who's a half elf ranger, a sneaky pointy ear. Meanwhile, Sarah's character, an elf, says stuff like, not bad for a half fan. Oh dear. Phil says there's an advert in the middle. I don't think I've selected midstream ads. Like, there's adverts in the beginning for all that's worth, just, you know, so I can get like 2p for the whole show. But I don't think there's any in the middle. With D&D, is it that characters from the extended fiction like Tannis are the progeny of... Oh. I'll probably say similar thing about Half-Orc, but it's a make-believe world. Just make-believe it wasn't the reason. Huh. Okay. Look, it's a fantasy reality. At the end of the day, some of it's going to reflect reality, and that's going to be both the good and the bad. It's what makes the story. Without the bad, you cannot see the good. If everything was good all the time, you'd never know it was good. There has to be hardship in order for you know, the good things to push through and to triumph and really show off. So, don't tell me it's free. Come on now. Behave. Maybe it was a bit too dicey what we're talking about. More like stuttering. Okay. Have we even got music on? Yeah, look, I haven't even got music playing, so it can't be that. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, now I remember now. Thanks, Debbie. on the cabbage dragon, right? That's it. That's a fun miniature. And you know what? Like, if it wasn't for the fact that Imperium got extended and I wanted to see the end of that, and I was already behind, by the way, by like a couple of months, I would be on I'd be on that magazine so hard with the premium, because Big Dragon, Cabbage Dragon, Trogoths, Carrigan Overlords. I've already got from the premium kits from the Mortal Realms magazine. I already got a small group of Iron Jaws and Sylvaneth, so that would have bulked out because you get some in the army, in the collection. And I didn't buy into 3rd edition Age of Sigmar because I was expecting to get the magazine, get everything cheaper. But just didn't in the end, which is a shame. It was an advert. You just look a lot like the new Bud Light advert, and people got Shall I put on some lipstick? A little bit of lag for a sec. Oh, okay, that's good. So yeah, I get it, Andrew. After 2 of the main characters in Lord of the Rings are part elf. They are. That's very true. Now, Bill, don't answer. Chat, who are those 2 characters? Go. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Debbie. Yeah, the Orc boss is a good mini. I like the fact that the Cabbage Dragon literally looks like a fist, you know. All right, so let's no, not that. Wrong one. There we go. I did say I was going to get some hobby done. So we got some Sisters of Battle. Yeah. So do games like 40k need to have advancing storylines beyond the supporting lore? Oh. Ooh, good question, Bill. Good question. All right, so let's take it back to Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Okay. Now, it was a fantasy style adaptation of, what was it, Renaissance era, maybe, Europe, centered around the Germanic states, because it wasn't really a country at the time, it was just lots of states. And it just nitpicked things out of history and just put a fantasy twist on it. Now, they did have an option where they could progress the storyline a bit at a time, but there was only so far they could go because you had these large established areas. There was 2 regions which they never explored, and that was the Jade Kingdoms and it was the what was it, Araby. So, you know, desert tribe themes. They didn't really branch out into it, and they could have pursued that like they did with the Total War game, But ultimately, they were fixed in this stalemate of this the Empire, this the Bretonnians. You have these other states over here. You got the Tomb Kings, Dark Elves over there, High Elves in the middle of the sea. A couple of forests for the Wood Elves. Chaos constantly coming from the north. Beastmen out of the woods. Ratmen came out the sewers. All the ogres and greenskins came from the east over the mountains, tried to take out the dwarfs and the humans. And of course you had lizard men, which were in the tropical areas. And that was it. There was no real budge for it. Now with 40k, with having a universe, like a whole galaxy, there's a lot more flexibility because there's a lot more blank spaces on that canvas to fill out. So there's more room for people to explore. But you can get quite stale with that as well, because there's nothing really going on if there's no kind of storyline to sort of feed the changes in the game. So from a gaming perspective, it keeps things interesting. You're constantly involved in this ever evolving storyline where these new factions or these big changes to these factions affect how the game plays, and it affects what you can do in the game. That keeps things interesting. It's also great for those who just like to be caught up on the lore. People who just like to build their own things based on some of the established lore. That's not actually in physical form. And then from a marketing perspective, so from the business end, it's fucking fantastic because it means you can sell more stuff, keep that money coming in. If you've got an ever going on storyline that's constantly evolving, that means more products can be sold out, and new editions, because you have these little soft reboots which change the game. You have these campaigns which keep things building up to the next edition, and then you roll out that edition. And yeah, it works for both sides of that, really. It shouldn't, but it does. But that's my perspective on it. I mean, you know, it's an opinion as well, but so, you know, don't have to like it. Good question, he says. Surprising I'm a tiny bit smarter than I look. I'm sure you are, mate. Debbie says the two half elves are Elrond and Arwen. Maybe. Andrew said Aragorn's wife and Legolas. Adam says, forget the humans. Empire Britannia were only created 2nd edition as they had lots of historical 100 years war and 30 years war they needed to do something with. True. But you know, one feeds the other. Bill says the Empire and Britannia, etc. were the way they were because, yeah, historical mini is really available. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Large Plastic Podcast, how you doing? He says the law sells the models. It's the perfect business plan. There you go. And Mr. Fish says everything is advancing except orcs, who spontaneously got a whole sub-faction of monster hunters because squigs sell models. Yeah, you know where it's at. That's exactly it. I ain't even mad at you. Like, just say it how it is, dude. Right, let's have a look at this sprue now. from what I can see, it starts from 10. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. So, because everything else is on this one. Oh, yeah. This is A, and that's B. So that means on here, there isn't anything. God damn it. Okay, never mind. Alright, so. What's your favourite model if you have one? Oh, that's so hard. That is so hard. That's a very good question. And I think it changes at any point in time, really. I've got some favourites, like some all-time favourites. But I don't think I have a favourite. Like, there are ones that I really like. And then, there's going to be ones that obviously I'm not a fan of. But to say favourite, it's very tough to say. I mean, I do have, like, kits that I enjoyed. Like, for example, the Bretonnian Men-at-Arms. I really liked... like, if you were nifty enough with a bit, a set of clippers and plastic glue, you could get some really funky little conversions in them. The militia, the Empire militia, that was a versatile kit. You could do so much with that kit. You'd never have the same two miniatures. So that was a good kit. Yeah, it's hard to say, really. As for, like, so that's like, like a box of models. As for a singular miniature, that's a good question, really. I think it would have to be Thoric Ironbrow, the Rune Lord from the dwarfs from Warhammer Fantasy. Because he had his own little apprentice. He had 2 Anvil Guard. It was a pretty nifty little miniature, really. And I got gifted one as a birthday present because I was trying to get myself ready for a Young Bloods gaming tournament. And I was just short of enough points, and the guy who was in charge of the club at the Games Workshop, he was like an ex-employee. He still had a discount, and what he did was he gave me his old Thoric Ironbrow, which he had mounted on an old Blast template. So like, and it was all flocked and everything with Craggy and the 2 Avant-Garde and that. And it was really well painted. I still got it today. And he was like, okay, right, so that's your Lord choice, all right. Now, how many points do you need? Like, and we worked out with what little money I had from my paper round, that I could get like a box of warriors and just green stuff long beards on them, make them into long beards, and then a cannon. And like, he got the cannon like heavily discounted because it was like a metal mini, and back then you paid very little for those miniatures. If you had the discount, like nowadays it's like 50%. Back then it was based on the weight of the model. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So I had like exactly 2,000 points, which meant that I could have the Rune Lord legally. And that Rune Lord was like a big chunk of my points as well. It was ridiculous. I think it was like 450 points. So it's almost a quarter of the army's point value. Just because that was the cheapest financial option to bulk out the army. Didn't win a single game, but I got sportsmanship award, like an actual certificate, best sportsmanship award. So that was cool. All right. What are your thoughts on the unreliable narrator style of 40k lore? I think it makes sense. No one, right, in a vast galaxy where the only long distance communication you have is a jacked up psychic dude screaming into like into the warp and just hoping that message reaches the other side in the same order as when you sent it, and then that other psyker is listening out for that screeching, hears it, understands exactly what you're saying, and then is like, okay. So because it does feel like a big game of Chinese whispers, really, but you're not whispering, you're just screaming your thoughts into this imaginary other realm, and it just popping out the other side. So yeah, there's that. And also, I mean, we have this in real, like, it's a real thing. You can see it in courts, right? Someone will see something happen, okay, and then when they're asked what had happened, they will tell you how they saw that event, but it will be mixed up a bit with how you remember it as well, rather than exactly how you. I mean, there's some people who can buff, fact on fact on fact, remember exactly what happened, but most people, it gets a little bit warped by your perception. So yeah, that just makes sense, really. So, oh, Gina, god damn, Gina, that's extremely. Oh man, I don't know what to say. I mean, that's just amazing, isn't it? Well, everyone, send some love in the chat, because that's amazing. Thank you so much, Gina. Hello, Charlie. I'm glad you're a Warhammer fan. Hey, Matthew. Hope you're well. And you love Warhammer too. Awesome. Look at that. Oh, we got 5 more members on YouTube as well. See, more people should be like you, Gina. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh dear, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say now. Hey, you made me speechless, but not completely. Okay, back to, oh man, you flustered me. You got the reaction you wanted. Are you happy now? So back to the questions. Where is it? Oh, so Mr. Fish says, that's my favourite part of the lore. Tau aren't fish people. Humans just call their stuff fishy names and crazy stuff like that. Void, how you doing, man? Glad you could join us. That too, but I meant more the direct contradictions and retcons. Yeah, it just gives them unbelievable flexibility to retcon things. So, you know, don't trust everything you hear in 40k lore because it could change anytime. Adam says that's due to no one person controlling the law. Going to happen without someone to say something's not right. Exactly, there you go. Is that whiskey in that drink there? No. I just finished a coffee in my bin mug. Yeah. And just to wet the whistle for chit-chatting, I've got squash. That's it. Just keep my whistle wet. No, I don't cut my toenails with these. Do you? That's an interesting question. No, I use nail clippers. Right. But it has to be after a shower when your nails are softer. You know, you don't want them pinging off everywhere. So there you go. Right. Yeah, Gino's going full love god mode. So yeah, that's it. The unreliable narrator just serves multiple purposes, and it just reflects what it's like in a constant war as well. So there's that as well. So let's just finish trimming up this buttock, and I might actually have one miniature glued together because I haven't even really done anything. I've been way too caught up in the chat today. You guys have had pretty good questions so far, so there we go. Hi Craig, how you doing? I hope you are well. We're doing all right here. Now, how does this go together? And thank you for joining us. Kev, what was the worst Citadel paint you have used? Oh, okay. The worst one I've ever used. Now, a lot of people are going to say it was either yellow or a white, right? And yeah, Adam, behave. But it's not. Actually, the worst one I ever had was years ago. Years and years ago, when I was a wee lad, and Games Workshop had these weird little pots of washes, but they were metallic, and I didn't know what the heck it was, but I just picked up a pot because it kind of looked fun, and it was a metallic purple wash, and at the time I had no idea what the heck I was doing with it, but it sucked anyway because it just didn't mix well at all. It was so bad. So for all the whites and the yellows that Citadel produced, that was the worst one. It really was the worst one. So and you know, I'm sticking to that. Alright, so that goes on there, I guess. I don't know, I've never put these together before, so just fiddling around until it fits, I guess. Whoa. Ah, ta-da! Alright. Let's pop that on there. I like how it's got a number tag on it as well. There you go, that's one done. There we go, easy, completed it. I can pack up and leave now. Top 5 most desired models in 40k that you'd like to own. Okay, that's a real question. Come on now. All right, so first of all, I would love to own a Land Raider. For the longest time, in all of my, 28 years of being in the hobby, I have never once owned a Land Raider. And I've always wanted to have a Land Raider. And all my mates had Land Raiders, but me. I had a Land Speeder, I had a Dreadnought, and I had a few bikes. And those were the only vehicles I ever had. So, yeah, that would be that one. Just that would really make my inner child happy. I'd like to have an Imperial Knight as well. I did have a box set that Games Workshop sold quite a few years ago now. It was 2 knights. I think it was called Renegade. And you had like 1 Chaos-y, 1 normal, and then you had a whole bunch of 40k terrain, and it was its own little sort of, game in a box thing. But I had to sell that a couple of years ago because money for fixing the car and that. And I had it for like 4 years, just sitting on the shelf unopened, and I just like, yeah, look, I'll get rid of it. So I got rid of that. So it would be nice to get a knight. A Titan is cool, but you know what, I think it's a bit too much. So my top 2 is already a Land Speeder and an Imperial Knight. I would like to have also the new Lionel Johnson miniature, because that's a pretty badass miniature. And any of the Primarchs really. I know I will be getting a Guilliman soon with the magazine, because I'm a little bit behind, so I haven't got it yet. So I'll be getting my first Primarch like that. That's it, man. I can't. Yeah, like there's some like some things that you eye up and you're like, I would love to get that, but you don't. So I think that's it. I don't think there is a top 5 though. But there you go. There's top 3. Does that count? Craig asks, oh, Robert Blake, how you doing? Long time no see, mate. I hope you're well. What have we got here? So, Craig asks, do you have any tips for hobbying with children running amok? I have 3 young children and often struggle to get the time in. I've tried the orphanage, but they won't take. So, I have 2 very hyperactive kids myself, and so yeah, I know it could be a struggle finding time and energy, because even if you get the kids to bed on time, then you still got to clear up after them, finish doing the chores, and by the time you've done that and sit down, it's already like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and you've got no energy. So dumping them at the in-laws for the weekend can help. Just managing your time throughout the week. So like, just have a fixed night or 2 fixed nights a week where you will focus on having that time to do your hobby, and then that way you can get everything else done around that, so it doesn't encroach. And just talk to your partner so that you can arrange that sort of thing. And if they need time as well, maybe you can have like a 1 night on, 1 night off arrangement where they get their time to do what they need to do or want to do, and you'll quickly do the bit of housework in the evening, and then swap roles the following night. So there's those options. So you know, those are options, I guess. And if you are still looking to give them up for adoption, I'm sure there's a lot of gay couples out there who would love to take your kids. So there you go. Hope that helps. Learn ropes, says Bill. Matthew says, how often do you wash your... My what pot? I don't believe I have a toss pot. But yeah. And I got a flushable toilet, so you know. And that gets cleaned at least once a week. Yeah, unless someone leaves a real mess. Do you have a favourite colour scheme? That's from Robert Blake. Mostly I paint with black and green. That's why I like Necrons a lot, because I could get away with doing black and green. And then I have sort of tried to step out of my comfort zone a little bit with various different things. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in the cabinet to the side of me. But yeah, it's largely black and green. It just works really well. Is the Emperor a god? Pretty much. I mean, he's got a physical form, so he's got that for him, but it's decaying. But the main traits of gods in the 40k universe is that they consume souls, which the Emperor does in order to have the Astronomicon lit, and they are worshipped, and that fuels their power, which does. They can grant gifts and boons to their followers, which he does. So yeah, he is pretty much, if not one step away, he is pretty much a god. So there you go. What have we got here? Adam says, I have 3 and I don't even play 40k anymore. Oh, you get. Hey, War Daddy, how you doing? Sorry I didn't see you there. What am I working on? Some Sisters of Battle, but I've literally just put one flagellant together. That's it. I don't know what I was expecting. I really wasn't going to get anything done. But, you know, I got one put together. No instructions, because it's so dead easy to follow the numbers, I guess. So there you go. So, yeah. I hope you're well, dude. Craig says, I was considering a Matilda-esque chokey. Oh, okay. Charlie asks, how many Imperial Knights do you keep under the sink? That's not going to be a question for me. I'd throw that question to Adam. He's probably got 1 or 2 under there, for sure. How about the original Metal Thunderhawk, Kev? No. It is literally a status thing just to have one in the box as a collector's item. But it's a ridiculous amount of money. It's an absolute nightmare to put together. It will fall apart as soon as you look at it wrong. Squidmar did a whole series of videos on trying to get that thing to stay together and then paint it up. It's a nightmare. And as much as nostalgia tells me that I liked metal miniatures because the weight of it, it felt like you had your weight in money. it was just bad, man. Like paint chipped off all the time, bits bent all the time. If it broke, you couldn't glue it back on. Like with plastic, if it breaks, you just glue it back on. Plastic glue, paint back over it. It's fine. You had to pin a lot of things. That's a lot of drilling. Drill bits break. It's just a headache, man. And then there's always gaps you got to fill in. So no, I wouldn't want. If they had a plastic Thunderhawk though, yeah, for sure. So next question. Solid top 3. Oh, thank you. I still want to sort out something for you, dude, and things looking okay at the moment. So drop me a message on Discord. Oh, you babe. Adam says, get the kids painting minis from the age of 5 or 6. I sit with my kids all painting too. Buy cheap WizKid minis for the first year or 2 until they learn the basics. Yeah, I mean, you can even like go to different games workshops in your area and just ask like for like, you know, the miniature of the month, or you can get like just a little miniature in a box for paint out. Just say it's for the kids, show their sad little faces, put some soot on their cheeks. So you could do it on the cheap, and you could just use cheap acrylic paints that you can get from any art store. Don't have to use the Citadel ones or anything like that. And just Poundland brushes are good enough, and they'll love to do it because it's something different. So there we go. Raylander says he had his eldest painting the £5 a box Marines from when he was 5-ish. I remember those boxes. They're alright, weren't they? One more model built than I've managed this week. I mean, that's the most I've built in 2 weeks. So there we go. Captain Ahab, welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. If you had to pick a colour for your Trilithium Warriors, what colour would it be? Trilithium Warriors. I'd need to know what Trilithium Warriors are. I'm going to have to search that. So let's have a look. Trilithium. Yeah, I got the spelling right. All right, let's have a look. You know what? Blue with gold trim. Just blue with gold trim. Just do it blue, gold trim. Done. Alright, glad you could join us, LBP. Good to see you. One isn't enough. Oh dear. You only have one. It's in your toss. Oh dear. They're like Iron Hands Warriors, but spelt differently, Kev. Okay, alright, well there you go then. Yeah, I'd still do them blue with gold trim. There you go. You're trying to catch me out with the third party stuff. Anyways, not gonna happen. Right, so I'm gonna just make sure everything's lined up, because it is time for our community corner. So let's hop over. Ta-da! So this is our community corner segment. Every week we get to see what you lot have been working on, whether it's things that you finished, works in progress, or just ideas you have floating around. And yeah, right here we're starting off with a post from Spud. Thanks, Spud. And that's me at the 20-minute painting speed painting challenge, looking like an absolute dunce. With my camera, because I wanted to do a little speed lap, like a time lapse thing of me just painting this up. And right next to me was War Daddy, and then further along was what's his name? Golden Rogue? Is it Golden Rogue? I don't know. War Daddy's gonna have to tell us in the chat. But yeah, we all had a go at it. It was kind of fun. I actually did Howling Griffins. It was an absolute nightmare. I've put it away. Shame. But I had a quick go at freehand painting the icon on the shoulder pad for the Howling Griffins, and it just looked like a it just looked like a cooked chicken. So there you go. So thanks, Spud. Next up we got Mr. Fish. He says he's not done much since he got home from family vacation, but he did manage to reassemble, fix the stomper from his buddy. So let's have a look, because his mate gave him a massive haul of orcs, like he needed it. Like he's got a ridiculous amount. But and this looks pretty cool already. I love that design on the banner. That just messes your eyes up. That's crazy. Also like the grot on the rocket with the hammer. And it's a is this from 21 Jump Street? My name is Jeff. That scene always has me. Thanks for sharing, dude. Oh man, you dirty boy. So there we. Because I have to scroll down, because every time I see it, I just hear it in my head. My name's Jeff. Oh man, Channing Tatum, do one, will ya? So there we go. Andrew asks, what's my favourite Space Marine chapter and why is it Howling Griffins? It's not Howling Griffins. Actually, my favourite is tied between the Ultramarines and the Silver Templars. Ultramarines because they're the OG. Silver Templars because then I feel like I can have like solely a Primaris force, and it's an easy enough paint scheme to do. So there you go. Adam asks, Kev, what is your favourite alternative to Games Workshop miniatures, and why is it Bacon miniatures? Oh, dude, I just love werewolves and Vikings, like hammering it out. It's a great concept, for sure. Necrons are the only thing that should be painted. Howling Griffins. Oh, God. Anyways, next up is Phil. He says he's not done much since Chilgon because of holidays. Still struggling to get new Berserkers. So F-Corn and his Skull Throne. It's time for the greater good. The complete opposite. You madman. That's a decent haul as well. Are you gonna get the new not Shadow Sun? What's the name of that new miniature that they're gonna release? Oh bloody hell! I know the name. It's right there, but they got a beautiful new sculpt, like very nice with like cherry blossom and stuff like that. Because it looks like you're gonna go mech heavy with the towel, which is fine. It's fine. That's pretty much what they're there for. But it'd be interesting to see what you do and what color scheme you go for as well. Because I remember, if you have a look at that, what was that, a devilfish or a hammerhead fish, whatever? It's a fish. the hammerhead tank. This brown color scheme was like the default for everything, and it was the worst because you could not paint that. Tau light ochre, you could not paint it on anything because it was so thin and weak, but that was the default paint scheme. Now it's all, everything is white and grey. I don't know, it's madness. Commander Farsight, thank you, because Farsight enclaves. I had enclaves like echoing in my head, but the first bit was missing, so thank you. Blue gold trim, that's ridiculous. They would never wear that. You don't know. Next up is Adam Dodge. More British soldiers from one American regiment. White Dragon miniatures. Look at the camo on that. That is spectacular. Like, and like, kudos to the base work as well, because that really does look like gritty desert gravel, you know. It's really good. But no, nice earthy colors. It's turned out really good. And there's the rear as well. And see, look, that camo is just flawless throughout. That's really nice. And then I think this was your unit badge, wasn't it? That you put on there. Custom color scheme kit bashing everything too. Of course you are, Phil. Why would you paint it how it is? But that looks amazing. And then he's also painted a Knight Hospitaller Doctor from the Pan Oceania Infinity the Game by Corvus Belli. Okay. So like Techno Templars, essentially. That looks awesome. I like the little badge there with the winged snake. That's a nice touch. A very lush base there as well. Complete opposite to the other one. Got a nice vibrant red. Nice lush base. Must be nice to paint different things. Oh no, it's just a red cross. Ah, I was giving you too much kudos there. But from that angle, it kind of looked like a winged snake. This angle is just red cross. Boo. But there we go. We've got a freehand badge on the top there as well, so it's all right. And you got a nice tidy rim, so I'll forgive you. But no, stark contrasts, both of them, but both very well done. So thank you for sharing, dude. Mr. Fish says, had he cool and just caught up. Yes, Jeff is 21 Jump Street reference. Yeah, I thought so. Charlie says, I think the Aqua Unicorn Warriors look good in pink and yellow. They could do. They would totally wear that Captain Ahab. Stop being a... Oh, that's a bit harsh, dude. It's a bit harsh. 1.5 millimeter long. It was challenging. That's what she said. Hey! Gotcha. Anyways, thanks for sharing, dude. Next up is Bunker from Bunker Gaming. Oh, this is a pretty decent. We were joking earlier that it looks like a portable DJ booth. Like, oh, you know that that guy that you sometimes see pop up on like Instagram Reels or TikTok or whatever, right? And he's got like the green screen behind him, and he's got his laptop like rigged to like a baby carrier, and he's pretending that he's in an office conference when really he's at like a baseball game or he's in the MMA fight. Oh, those are good videos. So yeah, no, it's cool, dude. Very well painted though. I like the build up of weathering. You got like the muddiness there. It's awesome, dude. So keep up. I want to see the rest of them done. Next up is Boy Captain Bazooka. He says, all done on the helmet conversion for this Black Shield Marauder. I've used a watch part to replace the chunky aerial original one for something more in scale. Okay. Original helmet again for comparison. So, look at this. It's such tiny work. But it looks so... I see that bit that you're on about, though. Jeez. That's, isn't that the spring bit from the strap, where the strap connects to the watch? That bit that always pings off and goes missing. It looks great. Look, you've got a little bolt in there as well. That's awesome, dude. And if you aren't following, if you're not following Boy Captain Bazooka on Instagram, I suggest you do so and have a look at what he's worked on so far. The stuff is awesome, and it's so tiny. And that's the original helmet there. So that's from a Space Wolves pilot, and he's custom made some pipes instead. I mean, that's awesome stuff, isn't it? When you getting hired by GW? That is a good question for Mr. Bazooka. So, I think that concludes our community corner this week. I know it's been a quiet couple of weeks because it has been Easter holidays, so everyone's been busy. So, thank you again, everybody, for sharing your stuff. Back to my face. Sorry, not sorry. So, let's go back to this. Right, so let's actually put stuff together. And let's carry on with the Q&As, yeah? So, if you've got any more questions for me, because they started coming quick, thick and fast. There we go. So, let's keep it up. I would like more of your Warhammer questions or hobby-related questions. Boom. There we go. Also, has anyone made any progress on this month's KFC? Almost half the month has gone. So, time's ticking. And for those who don't know what KFC is, it's it's a fan-named monthly like painting challenge that we do. Kev's Fantastic Challenge. That's why it's called KFC. And also doubled as a joke because at some point I kind of look like a young colonel. So I don't know why, but there you go. But this month, the challenge is to paint anything animal. So it could be a humanoid animal. It can be... Sorry, I get distracted counting numbers there. It's hard, so hard counting numbers. So it could be a humanoid animal or it could be an actual animal. It's colourful as you like it. Yeah. We already got some ideas. I believe someone in the chat has got some ninja kitties, which is fun. Haven't even decided what to paint yet, Kev. Probably a tier cat. Yeah, no, that would be fine. It is. you know, part animal, so that counts. Haven't even decided. Oh no. Debbie asks, "What's your favourite hobby glue to use and why?" Good question. I have 4 glues. 4 glues. Okay. And I'll explain what I use them for. So, I have this Tamiya extra thin cement. It's great for little delicate things because it does have the little brush applicator, but it's so runny and thin it can sometimes spill around everywhere, so you got to be a bit careful with that. For larger miniatures I use the Citadel plastic glue because it's thicker, so it's got a stronger surface tension, so when you put pieces together they don't just drop off because you're not holding them together. They stick together just because they've been stuck together with that very viscous fluid, and then it, you know, melts the plastic in place and does its job. So I find that very helpful in that respect. I use super glue for resins, but I also use it to stick miniatures on the bases in case I want to snap them off the base to texture it first. Depends on the miniature. So but super glue is very easy just to snap. Like if I use plastic glue to glue these plastic miniatures to the bases, I'll never get it off without cutting some of the foot off. And then I got Uhu glue, which I use for, like, you know, blood effects. So nice stringy blood, or like, you know, big stringy saliva. So those are the ones that I use. But you know what, actually, you know what? My all-time goat of all glues, it's got to be PVA. No, I'm joking. It's not PVA. Nature, isn't it? Basically, yeah, but on the animal side, not just trees and plants. But again, all the details for this month's challenge is up on the Discord. So I haven't seen, you know what, I actually haven't seen Nightbot do its thing. Nightbot has not been putting anything up. Yo, where you at, Nightbot? God, do your goddamn job. Should GW make simplified rules for 40k? Good question. I think for the most part, the majority of the rules aren't even going to change. They were easy enough to get, right? They changed them a little bit over the years, but they for the most part they're sort of just more or less the same. What made it such a hassle was the fact that they just kept bloating it out with stratagems and you know, commands, actions and stuff like that. Now some people say no, don't dumb the game down. Like, let people learn to read. I say no. Allow people to make the game as complicated as they want it to be. Alright? Sure, for tournament play, you're gonna go for the most, like, tactically challenging version of the game. But just for casual play, you just want to pick up the game and go. Just want to roll some dice, have some laughs, right? So I think Age of Sigmar, for the most part, got that down. And where 40k sort of influenced the way that you know, Warhammer changed from Fantasy Battles to Age of Sigmar. I think Age of Sigmar is now affecting how 40k will turn out. So it's going to be like a much more casual sort of step into the game, and then like you can just make it more complicated if you want. That being said, we all know like the same thing was said about 8th edition, and then they ended up with the mess that they got now. So, you know, it can happen either way. So let's sort this out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log out of that Nightbot and then log back in to reboot it. With a Wolver, not quite werewolf, but wolfy human count. Yeah. I think that's up for debate, really. Okay, there we go. Just had to do the authentication thing. Is a tyrannid an animal? No, it's a insectoid. I mean, insects count as animals, don't they? But it's alien, so no. I'd favour the SWL method, you know, everything on a unit card that comes with the minis. Yes, that's a good way to do it. Can you send my ninja kitties back to me in the post? I need that. What would you recommend doing if you accidentally drop your Imperial Knight in your toss spot? Get out the rubber gloves, dude. Adam says, I use a similar glue, thinner brush on glue. It's just much easier to use once you get to use it. Sprinkle baking soda into super glue for a stronger bond. Sets it instantly and fills gaps. Can be sanded too. Ah, that is a good tip actually. What is the beef that's going on between Captain Ahab, Matthew, and Charlie? Seriously. Hey, Ross, how you doing, man? Hope you're well. Remember the fuss with third was so much easier than second. Remember how much better third was. Barely remember that, dude. I'm not old enough. Like, that was my first edition that I got into, but I ain't bloody remember how it played. So, still got to sort out this bloody Nightbot nonsense. What's going on, Nightbot? Right. Come on, Nightbot. Don't be a douche canoe. So, oh, thanks, Ross. I've got to put it down to, you know, you seeing me as, just seeing me as an orc. Hey, Davide, how you doing, man? From time to time, yes, I agree. Rogue Trader was the bestest fact. No one remembers Rogue Trader. Jeez, just... It's a dead game. I'm gonna anger some oldies now. Whoa. Look, Nightbot's working. Cool. That's good. Thank you, Nightbot. Thank you. Okay, so... By the way, I've never seen that before. Little love hearts coming up in the bottom of the chat there. So I'd like more of that. Please give me more validation. So, yeah. I've got any more questions. I do wonder why in 2023 there's still such a delay between chat and the video. Yeah, it's all on YouTube's side. My internet is fine. My bitrate is fine. The CPU is not like dying either. It's doing okay. You know, everything's fine. Bitrate and all. So if there's any delay, it's all on YouTube's end. Alright, I need to put this thigh in properly, otherwise it's going to look like it's got dummy thick thighs. Let's pop that in that gap. Soak it up. Slip it in. Behave. What? What's with all these emojis? Is this a new thing now? Yeah, that 3D printer is mad. The newer one that you've recommended, the one that you're doing in the competition. Which, by the way, Warhammer is going to be doing a competition soon. Once he releases the video, the proper review of it, I think it was, of this brand new 3D printer, but you get like a curer with it as well, and a washer or something like that with it. He's got 3 bundles, like worth a buttload of money, ready to go, and it is like really not cheap at all. So dude, I don't know how you're gonna top that ever, because that's a huge giveaway. Right, come on. Oh, you know what? That's another thing I hate about this bloody extra thin glue. It dries too quick. Hey Jake, how you doing, mate? Glad you could join us. Oh, we've got Karen Commissar in the chat as well. Look at that. We've got all the OGs in the chat. It's awesome. I should just just enter the competition and win. Any more news on the upcoming Stormbringer? It's already out, dude. It's already out. Though, like, news on its contents. I believe Ross is still going to be supplying that. Because I'm not following the magazine, I'm not going to be doing any updates on that. So I've already given them enough free press, considering I'm not doing the subscription. And it's on its 8th issue already, so if you haven't signed up to it already, it's not too late. you can still do that. You can still sign up to it. There we go. I don't hate the emojis. They're cool. I don't even know why I got this headset on. There's no music playing. There we go. Oh my god, my ears can breathe. My ears just went. There we go. So. Yeah. Oh, you got the next 4. Okay, there we go then. So there you go. Check out Warhammer. Get all the latest 3D printer or Partworks magazine news. He does other stuff as well. So giving Ross a bad time, are you? Right. I'm still waiting for my second delivery. No worries, Karen Commissar. I'm sure you'll get it soon enough. Jake, I am building some Adepta Sororitas, some, Sisters of Battle, basically. I've managed to build a whole 2 flagellants. Well, actually, that's an arco-flagellant type thing, isn't it? And that's a repentia, I believe. I think. I don't know. Because I've just been so engaged in this chat. It's just been awesome. And deciding to all but boycott one-page rules had a lot on. Really? Well, why is there a boycott going for one-page rules? Did they not give you any freebies? Hey Brown Bear, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Yeah, I've got to up to issue 6 and I haven't opened any either. So you're not the only one there. He's saying I don't do other stuff. Well, I mean, you've done what? You've done reviews for brushes and stuff. You've recently been doing a lot of YouTube shorts with some tips on dry brushing. Like, I mean, motherfucker, dry brushing is my thing. How dare you, for one. You got your own shit, man. Stick to 3D printing. I'm kidding, man. But no, for reals, like, Warhammer covers a lot of things. It's worth checking out both the website for the blogs and the articles, the updates on new things in the hobby, and he also does stuff on YouTube now and then. So, I spoke to the guy in charge. And he was very rude. Not a hobbyist at all. All he seemed to care about was being an important CEO now. He's not a hobbyist like the brand in... okay. Like Artist Opus and Red Grass Games. Fair enough. Fair enough, man. I really would like to have a chat to the people at Artist Otis and Red Grass Games just to see how they are, what they're like. Just gauge them as people. 18. So there's 19 there. So where's 20? 20 is there. Cool. All right. Boom. 20, 21, 21. Eh, 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 eh. There we go. Where's 22? Where are you, 22? There it is. There's a leg. 22. Eh, eh, eh. 23. Right. And then 24. Oh, it's one of those seraphim chicks. Cute. So actually, that is an alternative helmet to that one. Okay. So this is the head for that one. Alright. What you doing, sisters? I just built my novitiate kill team. I've been sitting there a year waiting. Hey, that's alright, dude. Oh, it's cool that you getting some hobby done as well. Adepticon cover was fun. Yeah, you know what? That video wasn't so bad, man. Yeah, it was a bit all over the place. It was a bit lengthy, but the point of it, which I appreciated, was that it was like a really well detailed cover of the experience. You know, you got to get a bit of the behind the scenes, but you also got a bit of the day itself from, you know, a regular pleb's point of view. And I appreciated that, because I'll never be able to get to Chicago for a gaming convention, let alone get across the pond to America. So it was nice seeing that. Adam says he doesn't buy from Miss for similar reasons to Warhammer. Oh. Okay, now we're finding out. Now we're finding out. Which ones are the OG hobbyists and which ones are the corporations. He says as he's putting together a miniature from a corporation. Doesn't buy from green stuff anymore either. Can't stand the practices. That's fair enough, dude. Was that because they were taking pictures of, like, they were stealing other people's pictures and then just like pretending it was their own? I don't think they've done that for a long time now, but that was pretty dodge. Or was it that thing that you told me about where they get these cheap products and they rebrand them and then sell them as Green Stuff World stuff? I thought that was a lot more like, oh shit, like, why aren't I doing that? Email them, awesome people, dude, and they live the hobby. Ah.
Yeah, I've got nothing to lose. That's true. So, yeah, I might as well. You know what? I'm kind of surprised at the mold lines on these miniatures because they are pretty new. Pretty new molds. Unless the molds have just like got a lot of wear out of them. I guess because of the popularity of them, but it's almost as bad as the old Immortals from the Necrons, which are like over 10 years old. So you kind of expect there to be mold lines. It did look so 100 mile per... Wait, what's going on there? Oh, I'm on top chat and not live chat. Here we go. Am I missing something here? Oh, I didn't miss anything. Okay. Yeah, there's a Canadian buying an old branded Vallejo color shift. It's a sword and steel for using a word copyrighted in Spain only. Okay. Yeah, no, I remember that. That was a whole thing, wasn't it? Jeez. Right, I'm determined to put at least one Sister of Battle together before I end the stream. Christ. Barely done anything. It's absolutely ridiculous. From a hobby standpoint, from a social standpoint, I mean, it's freaking awesome. I mean, it's been a great show, really. Oh yeah, no, that was really poo, wasn't it? The old colour shift thing. About a month ago, on request to change it down. I'll take it down. They just made it black and white. Wow. Wow, that is shoddy. GW going all precious because we called speed paint and express contrast paints. Vallejo sold color shift paints first, but then GSW made them. They copyrighted color shifts, so Vallejo had to rebrand. Then the channel did a review on the Vallejo paints and got C&D. Yeah, no, I remember that, dude. Paints, which unpaid for, not a sponsorship, and we said they were okay, which they were, and they lost their shit at us. I remember you telling me about that as well. Like, you can't please everyone, can you? It's yeah, no. What can you do, innit? So there you go. It's a lot to think about there. So we've got about 5 to 10 minutes left of the show. We've got any quick fire questions to throw out there? Yeah, average paints are fine. They're average. they were below average, you know, get pissed off with that. But if they're just marked as average and not like, oh my god, these are amazing, wow, then, you know. Like, at the end of the day, it's your integrity that is part of your business, you know. You don't sell people down the river just because you got some free shit. You know, and that's what I like about you, Ross. You know, you say it how it is. You don't mince your words too much. And all your reviews have been sort of dead honest. Yeah, tell her I said hi. Hi. Like that. You gotta say it like that. But yeah, hopefully we can meet up again soon, dude. Because I missed you. I missed you at ChillCon. Because of course you tested positive from your trip, didn't you? So that was a shame. Alright, Gina asks, favourite book from Black Library. So, alright. There's... Oh, mate, come on now. Okay, so... One book is... 4 adverts so far. There's been midstream adverts. Okay. I'll have a look into that. I do apologise. There shouldn't be any bloody adverts during the show. So I do apologise. So as for favourite book, now I actually got it to hand. Where are you? Okay. I lied. I don't have it to hand. So I got favourite book series. Like I love the Horus Heresy ones. The Gotrek and Felix ones are amazing. I really enjoyed the Bretonnian omnibuses and the Dwarf omnibuses. I even liked the Time of Legends ones as well. But one book that really I enjoyed was Dead Men Walking. It's a 40k novel, and it's about this world that, you know, it's just a normal Imperial world, but all of a sudden Necrons are just coming out the ground, and out of nowhere the Death Corps of Krieg come along and they're battling out with the Necrons, and then they're training up and recruiting the local populace to fight back. It's very bleak. It's almost devastating, really. But it's such a good read, and I really can't recommend it enough. So definitely go for that. Next big plan is a skirmish game for quick games, so Kill Team or Warcry. Go Warcry. I've heard nothing but good things about Warcry. I've never played either of those, so I just picked one up, but the miniatures are awesome. If you were on a desert island with only one brand of minis, which would it be, and why would it be bacon minis? I don't know, man. Probably because they're the only ones left after everyone stole. No, I'm joking. Ow! Yeah, no, they're really good minis. Yeah, we'll say it. I can't go to Warhammer Fest. I don't have the money or the time. So Sad face. I never read any of the Gaunt's Ghosts or the Deathwing books. Sorry. Favorite faction form, 40k and Age of Sigmar. Okay. 40k, Necrons, and Age of Sigmar. Even though I don't have any, it's got to be the Kharadron Overlords, because I just love the idea of steampunk privateers with skyboats. It's just amazing. How many dreadnoughts can a dreadnought dread if a dreadnought could dread? A few, I guess. Watch out for the Kitty Tech printer review. £1,200 printer I got that I can't recommend to anyone. You can't recommend it to anyone, or you can't recommend it enough. Either way, check out for Hammer. He's gonna be doing a competition where he'll be giving away 3 bundles of that thing with the curer and the washer, and it looks sick. Yeah, 3 ads for me. 1 didn't jump back on the show. I've had. Oh, dude, sorry about that. I skipped it, so no extra money for me. Well, guess what? I still get the 0.05 of a penny off of you just skipping it. So, joke's on you. I still need to glue this together. How the fuck does this go together? Right, so I go like that, and then what? That goes. Okay, cool. Right. I believe the adverts depend on YouTube. Only people with YouTube Premium can skip adverts. No, I mean, if you got YouTube Premium, you don't get any adverts at all. You don't just skip. And the adverts, it depends what advert comes up. Depends on whether or not you can skip them. Adblock plus for the win. Sneaky boy. Oh look, Nightbot woke up again. Thanks, Nightbot. Right, get that leg on there. Like that. If the author is Dan Abnett or William King, read it. Just read them all. Yeah, or Aaron Dembski-Bowden. He's really good as well. He writes some really good stuff. Gav Thorpe. Yeah, he's good. Oh, because he's a mate. Oh, what? You got to introduce me, dude. I'd love to have a chat with Gav Thorpe. Definitely got a ton of his stuff. Okay. My youngest 2 boys are both reading William King. William King is good. Very good. Harry's reading Godric and Felix books, and Cameron's reading the Space Wolf ones. Woo! Got him in deep, dude. Gina loves the Gaz book as well. Oh no, was that a bit of sprue there? Ah! Ha! Like it was never there. Oh look, it's a seraphim. Seraphim or Seraphon? I can't remember. Anyway, look at that. Hooray! It's so dinky compared to Space Marines. But I built one. Hooray! Great success! Like, that's just a bad Borat reference. I have no apologies for it whatsoever. Anyways. For audiobooks, though, I can't recommend the new Gotrek audiobooks more. Like, mostly because they have the ever amazing Brian Blessed voicing Gotrek, and he's just got that bombastic, barrel-chested voice that only he can do, you know, and it's just spot on. But there we go. So I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Just make sure I haven't missed any more of those. Yeah, all good for there. Yeah, we're all good there. Right, so yeah, thank you so much everybody for tuning in tonight. A massive thank you to Gina as well for donating 5 memberships. Would you believe it? Well, not donated, gifted 5 memberships. So we've got 5 new members on YouTube now, which is awesome. So I'm gonna have to update the list, and hopefully they'll stay around. That'd be amazing. So thank you again, Gina. That was very, very generous of you. Big loves to everyone who threw in questions and had a good chat in the chat, and all the new people who joined as well. It's not always nice to see new names popping up in the chat, and it's just as nice, if not even more so, to see the OGs in the chat as well. So big loves to you all for being here tonight. As always, we've got the members right here. Camera work. So big loves to you. Yeah, Gotrek's alive. He never died. He went into the Chaos realm, right? And that's how they left it. Of course, he got spat back out eventually, isn't it? So big loves to you all. Thank you so much. If you want to just like, share, subscribe, leave a comment after the show, that's more than enough. If you want to go a little bit extra, unlock some extra perks, some behind the scenes stuff, early access to content, discounts. We have those options on both YouTube, Buy Me a Coffee, and now Patreon as well. So go check that out. All the links will be on my Linktree account, so I'll pop the link there. And yeah, I'll catch you in the Discord, if not anywhere else. Again, free to join. All the links are in the description below. Buy stuff on the links. You know, it costs nothing extra to you. You get some good discounts, and it helps me out because I get those little kickbacks, which helps this whole thing be a thing. I'm not going to waste any more time shilling because I know you're waiting for the polka. So, you know, the crowds have spoken. The masses shall have their polka. Big love, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. got the answer. How many dreadnoughts can a dreadnought dread if a dreadnought could dread? The answer is, I am the law. So fucking stupid. Good night.